Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Dr. Sam Show. I am your host, friend, and confidant, Dr. Sam. We're about to go live on the air here in a minute. We're talking about So You Want to Be Married. Hey, we're going to have fun with this subject today. Also, I got my money coach coming in, Miss Rhonda Cobb, money coach at the 12:05 hour. I'm really excited about this show, man. We're going to be talking about some things. We're going to laugh a little bit, and I'm going to put some questions to the test. And also, I'm going to talk about last week I did my restaurant challenge, and what I said is, whatever restaurant you go to this week, ask them, can you go to the back and see what the restaurant looked like in the kitchen before you order, and that would help you make your decision. I don't know if anybody went and did that, but I went and looked at a couple of them this week. And so when I went to eat, I said, let me look at the kitchen right quick, man, before I make my decision and spend my money here. So I'm excited. We got a great show. Welcome everybody this morning that is tuning in. And like I said, we're about to go on the air here in a minute. I got me and Mr. D in the building, the dynamic duo, Mr. D, the Quincy Jones of all DJs, because this brother is trying to put a brother on. So we're about to roll here in a minute. And I wanted to say welcome, family. We're about to get on with the show. We're going to be talking about So You Want to Be Married. And also my secondary subject I got for you today is basically how much money should you spend on a first date? That's what I said. How much money should you spend on a first date? I know some of y'all said $5 is my limit. But we're going to be talking about that. How much should you spend on a first date? So we're about to go live on the radio, on the air. Welcome, Facebook Live family. I'm waiting on Mr. D to give me the signal, and we're going to be rocking and rolling. Also, we got comedian Jay Stevens calling in this morning, too, to give us an update on the entertainment etiquette for this week. And so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Got about 30 seconds.
So call Aunt Martha, tell her to tune in to the Dr. Sam Show. Tell her I said what's up. Happy birthday and all that good stuff. So yep, we're about to go on.
The following broadcast is a paid program. The hosts are solely responsible for its content, and the opinions expressed are not necessarily
I sure am. At least today
This is the Dr. Sam Show, featuring your host, Dr. Sam, bringing you prescriptions for your heart, relationships, money, mind, and soul. Now, here's Dr. Sam.
Hey, could you turn that so I can see that time too? Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Good morning, America. Good morning, world, and welcome to the Dr. Sam Show, where I am your host, confidant, and friend, Dr. Sam. And we off to a little bit of a late start, but we was honoring the queen, Miss Sharon of the Polka Show, who walked out the building, and we had to bow and slow down. So that's why we get on a little late. You cannot disrespect the queen, so we had to give her a proper send-off, and she just got off her show, the Polka Party Show, doing 3 hours of radio. So that's why we're a little late, man. It's not even being late. It's just honoring the queen, and that's just it. And you just have to wait for it. That's just how the world works. But I'm so excited about our show today. I want to welcome you, and I thank you for tuning in, family. As always, from the Dr. Sam Show, we love you. We appreciate everything you're doing. You can check us out at our website, www.thedrsamshow.us. And you know I like USA, and then I like to say us because I'm just feeling friendly like that. So it's .us, thedrsamshow.us. Also check us out on Facebook, the Dr. Sam Show. Actually, Dr. Sam Show as Dr. Sam in the Dr. Sam group, where I am putting questions, doing commentary every week. Matter of fact, I'm going to start doing it even more every day. I need to make sure I'm putting something out there every week for the people. And also check me out in the Toledo Journal every Wednesday under the Ask Dr. Sam column, where we are giving commentary for your heart, relationship, mind, and soul. Oh, yeah, for your money, too, by the way. And so we doing that. And we got a lot of exciting news coming up down the road. I got some moves we making the brand and the Dr. Sam Show. I'm really excited about it. So I want you to keep staying tuned and follow us on social media. Check me out in the paper. It's going to be about our exciting news. So I'm really excited about our exciting news that you don't know anything about yet. So I'm excited about being excited. And also I got Mr. D in the building. You know, I was talking to Mr. D before we came on the air about his uncle passing away. I'm talking about Mr. Hugh Hefner. Y'all didn't know. I always tell y'all that's Mr. D's nephew. That's why the ladies call him Mr. D. I didn't never tell y'all it was D. Hefner. But I'd have to let Mr. D come on the radio and tell you about that. And so he could explain the wonderful relationship he had with his uncle and his passing away. So Mr. D is a little sad, you know, but he'll make it up by 11 p.m. tonight. He will make it up, and he will be happy on some level by 11 p.m. tonight. So we got a great show today talking about So You Want to Be Married, and later on during the show, I'm going to talk about how much should you actually spend on a first date. And for those of you that think it's $200 or $300, you are out of your mind on a first date. So we're going to talk about that later on in the show. And also I got my money coach, Ms. Rhonda Cobb, coming at the 12:05 hour to give you some powerful money advice. And she's excited to be coming in. She always tells me, like, what I'm going to talk about, and, you know, like that. So I appreciate that from her. And most importantly, family, I appreciate your love that we get from this show and everything that's about it. Matter of fact, I'd like to thank our sponsor, our partners, McDonald's, for being a part of the Dr. Sam Show brand. Matter of fact, I left my McDonald's cup, and Rhonda is bringing it in for me when she comes, because, you know, I got to represent the brand. So I'll have my McDonald's cup and my drink in it. You know, I think it's sweet tea or something, whatever I'm going to have. Sweet tea or Coke, but it's going to be in that McDonald's cup, so she's bringing that for me when she get here. But I'd like to thank our sponsorship partners, McDonald's, for partnering again with the Dr. Sam Show. And then for those of you that grew up as a child on any type of level, you know, we always went to McDonald's and ordered the Big Mac, the cheeseburger, and all the good things that go with it. So it's a great thing. I'm excited about the partnership, the new partnership with them. So we like to say thank you. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get down to business, and then later in a little bit, Mr. Jay Stevens, comedian Jay Stevens, comedian, philanthropist, businessman Jay Stevens, calling in from somewhere. So this is the Dr. Sam Show. I am your host. I love you, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the couch.
Can't keep this thing keep telling about storage. I know that. You don't have to keep telling me. You don't have to keep telling me.
What's up, Facebook? We in the middle of a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get on down to business to the show. Get the rocking and rolling and get everything going so we can do our thing and do it the way we do.
Indeed. You know, it's always special when we get to see a cat like this.
You gonna call in
It's actually
11:30 or
she's so
Should be 11:15.
a strong-willed feeler.
They say.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person. The pitch on her purring is simply perfect. Nice one. I know. Fantastic cat. Fantastic indeed. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one. Visit theshelterpetproject.org today.
I'm going to talk about my restaurant thing. Just give them some time.
Okay.
For my restaurant challenge last week.
13 Action News.
Did you do that, Mr. D? Was that the time? Yeah, the restaurant challenge.
NFCC.org, a public service from the NFCC.
And we're back. For those of you that are just tuning in, welcome to the Dr. Sam Show. I am your host, confidant, and friend, Dr. Sam. And today we're talking about So You Want to Be Married. I know some of y'all out there excited about it. Some of y'all are depressed about it, but we're going to work it out today, and we're going to be talking about so you want to be married. And later on, I'm going to be talking about how much should you actually spend on a first date and why. How much should you really spend on a first date? But before we get to that, I want to talk about a couple of minutes about this challenge I did last week. I put out to the family. We was talking about food in a restaurant. And I was making a comment is that I dare anybody to try, when you go out to eat, we was talking about trust and why people didn't eat other people's food, like at the job or the company picnic or whatever. They said, I'm not eating Martha's salad. I don't like her potato salad. It don't have nothing in it. And I made the comment that we go out to restaurants every day and we never know what's going on in the back. Especially if you see that guy with that long apron on and a hole in his shirt by his shoulder, and he come out there scratching his arm, and he just came, and he looked like one of the cooks. We don't seem to ever have a problem with that. So I made a comment that I dare you, whatever restaurant that you go in, that you go and ask them, can I look at the back of can I look at the kitchen before I actually order? And if the kitchen is up to par, I'll order the food. If it's not, I won't. So I put that challenge out last week. I don't know if anybody was brave enough to do it, but you can call in and tell me about it if you did it. Now, you know, the number is 866-720-1470. And, you know, come tell us about your restaurant experience. Because I was laughing. I said, just like we're real picky about people's food we eat, but we go to restaurants where we never see what is actually going on in the back. You don't know who cooked what, when, where, and how. And so that's what we were doing with the challenge. So I'm reminding people of that. So if you did, again, the number is 866-720-1470. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns about the subject matter we're going to talk about today, and it's talking about so you want to be married, and later on we're going to be talking about how much should you actually spend on a first date. Now, most of you can't do like Mr. D and drop $300 or $400 on the first date just because, you know, $1 for the hors d'oeuvres and $399 for the rest of the stuff. So. But nobody's like Mr. D, so you don't drop a lot of money on that first date. All right, let's get down to business. And then a little bit, my man Jay Stevens will be calling in. And we'll go to Jay so he can give us the world of entertainment and news that's going around the world and all that good stuff. So the title of the subject today, So You Want to Be Married. Now, let me say this. There are a lot of people that want to be married, way more women than men. And people have a lot of reasons why they want to be married. And marriage is a good thing. It's work and it's commitment, it's love, it's joy, it's peace, soul, and soul. I just had to say that. And so why do you want to get married? What is so big about people getting married? Well, I wanted to talk about a couple of reasons first why people want to get married. One of the first reasons why people want to get married is they want somebody to love and then somebody to love them back. People want to be loved and they want somebody to love them back. That's one of the reasons people want to get married, because we want to feel like somebody values us or want us or trust us. I get that. We want that. I get that. I understand that. So that's one of the first things, is somebody to love and somebody to love them. So that's one of the first reasons why people want to get married. Another reason why people want to get married is they don't want to be alone. Nobody wants to be on the planet and be alone. Sometimes. Sometimes, actually, I do want to be alone. I mean, just, you know, but I'm talking about long term. Most people do not want to be alone most of their life. They don't want to be bothered sometimes, but they don't want to be alone. So one of the reasons that people get married is they don't want to be alone. They don't want to go this journey, go 90, 70, 80, 100 years, however you live, however long you live. They don't want to be alone. And I get it. Who wants to be alone looking at the mirror, got them 10 or 15 cats up in their house, and the cats don't even want to be bothered. They just sticking around because you feeding them. But they got pity on you when they look at you like, boy, you sorry, but you give me shelter and food, so I'm not going to open my mouth. Even your cats is looking at you funny. So a lot of people want to get married because they don't want to be alone. And for some reason, for most people, not all people, most people, long-term relationships are not even good enough. They want to be married. They want to be in a committed, legal, spiritually, physical commitment to people, and they want to be in a relationship. I'm not mad at you. That's what you should do. So, and another reason that people want to be married, and I'm just giving you a few examples before we get to the core, because after I give you these warm-ups, we're going to go to a commercial break. Now I'm going to have my man Jay Stevens on, and then we're going to get to the core. Another reason is the family. People want families. And they want families and the fantasy in the family. Now, when we get in this subject deeper, like I said, the core, I'm going to split up and explain the view from how women view it and how men view thinking about getting married. But one of the most important things that people want to get married is because of family. They want to build a family. And for most young ladies, they have that fantasy in their head about the picket fence and how the marriage should be and what type of husband they're going to be. Men, we really don't take it that deep. Ours is based around protection, providing protection. And I get into that also why we want to be married, because men want to be married because they want to have somebody. They don't want to be alone, but we want to have somebody to protect, somebody that we're with, that just being with you motivates us to win in life. But, like I said, we'll get in that. So the three reasons, I gave you 3 short reasons. Somebody to love is why people want to get married, want to be loved, and somebody to love them. And nobody wants to be alone. A lot of people just don't want to be bothered. And then it's for family and the fantasy that they see around being married. But we're going to get back to that. But we're going to take a 1-minute commercial break. When I come back, I'm going to have my man, comedian, businessman, and philanthropist. I'm talking about my boy Jay Stevens calling in from everywhere. This is the Dr. Sam Show, and we'll be right back. What was Rhonda saying?
You say?
What was Rhonda saying?
I guess she was talking about a cup of water or something. So I told her, yeah, we got
She
some.
must not read text. At first I told her 11:30. I told her yesterday to just come at her regular time. Or she just wanted to come, or I don't know.
Caring for a child,
It's cool.
regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
Celebrating the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball
Jay on the line, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
And we're back. This is your man, Dr. Sam, and I'm on the mic here on the Dr. Sam Show, where I'm your wonderful host and your friend. Yeah, I said I'm your friend. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And our today's subject, we're talking about, so you want to be married. But right now, before we get back to that subject matter, I opened it up talking about some reasons people want to get married, but we're going to talk about some things within being married or wanting to be married and why and what you should be doing before you actually do that. But before I do that, let me get back to or come to the man, the legend, the businessman, the philanthropist, the comedian, my man Jay Stevens, calling in from somewhere in the country. What's up, Jay?
What it do? What it do, Dr. Sizzle?
It's doing all right, Jay. He's that Dr. Sizzle.
Sizzle, baby. That's when you have people coming up to you at Walmart like, how you doing, Dr. Sizzle?
I don't want no big men doing that, though. No big 6'5", brother. Jay, what's going on, man? Seems like we ain't talked in a while, man. What's been going on? What's in the world? What's on Jay Stevens' mind?
We busy. We both busy doing our thing. But you have a very interesting topic, man. And I was listening in on one of the things you said.
The cats don't like it easy, but she feed them and housing them, so they not complaining that much.
As soon as a dude walk in the house, the cat's like, this ain't the house. I promise you, this is not where you want to be. But you know, it is funny though, man, how life changes and your decision is when you want to be married. Like when you say that you like in your 20s and 30s and you get married, you know, you get married because of love and because, you know, you want to become one legally. You know what I mean? You want to enjoy each other sexually, and it's not wrong. But after your 20s and 30s, you get married. You get married in your 40s and 50s. You want to get married for somebody to rub your back muscles.
Oh man.
Some of that mint oil. I'm gonna need you to rub my calf when I get on.
Yep, you right. That good smelling oil.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. We got all this protesting going on in the NFL and stuff, and it's changing stuff, man. Everybody taking knees and stuff. You notice it's only the young athletes, the rookies though, and stuff like that, that's taking knees. You know, they hear the people over 30 that's in the round taking, they're like, I ain't taking no knees. If I get down there, it's gonna be hard to get back up, man.
I seen a few of them standing up and leaning over on the players that were taking a knee. I was laughing at that when I seen it. Oh man, yeah, I did see that. I thought that was kind of funny though when I did. So I said, why that dude leaning over? He like, I would take a knee, but I'm gonna just stand. I'll meet you halfway.
I'm gonna do hashtag knee to the knee in the spirit. Hashtag to the knee in the spirit. That's what we're gonna.
Hey Jay, what the Cavs looking? Your Cavs looking like coming for this upcoming year, man? You know, I seen LeBron and they making comments, you know, what the president said about the athletes and Steph Curry and Bron. But what they looking like? Is this gonna motivate them even more, man, to do their thing? And they picked up.
We just picked up Wade, you know, and we got Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
And so, you know, it's kind of a mixture of old and young on our team. But we gonna hit somebody in the mouth this year, man. Oh yeah, you know the Cavs going all the way to the championship again, and it's probably gonna be the Cavs and Golden State again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're a beast in the East. I tell you what though, one game that everybody's looking forward to is playing Boston, because you know Kyrie wanted to go back to the team. So when you come home to Cleveland, we gonna show you what being the leader is all about.
They gonna turn on him, Jay. Well, yeah, they turn on LeBron. They definitely turn on Kyrie.
I'm telling you, we gonna bust Boston in the mouth. And then Kyrie name and face gonna be all in the papers, all on social media the next day. And I can see LeBron shooting him a text message. You wanted your own team, but this is some of the stuff you got to deal with.
Yeah, man, Kyrie Irving wanted to get out of there, man. He did too much LeBron, but you know he gotta understand, man. It ain't just LeBron's team, but that's his city, that's his area. Akron is his city, and I mean that's all Akron, Cleveland. That's like his. That's where he grew up at. Like so, you know what do you expect? And he the best player in the NBA, in my opinion. Like, well, I mean, so what do you expect?
Best player on the planet. And one thing people don't realize, man, and not just in sports, what people don't realize in life is that it's a blessing to being number two. Because when you become number one, you're like, man, I had no idea about all this pressure.
Yeah. He about to find out, though. Yeah, Boston, and we ain't talking about no ordinary franchise. We talking about a franchise got the most NBA titles in NBA history. So, he about to find out.
And let's be honest, we're talking about a black man in Boston. I don't think I have to go no further with what I just said.
And he not Paul Pierce.
Let me tell you this. Kyrie, if you listen to the Dr. Sam show, if you have never heard the N-word being called to you, you better get ready, brother. You are on the man now.
Oh, man, yeah, so that brother about to find out. Jay, before we go, man, what's the inspiring word you got for the family today, man, to keep on making them want to keep on?
Motivation, man. Motivation and staying focused. One thing, it's funny you asked me that. Yesterday I was watching one of the football games, college football games, and the quarterback threw a pass, and the receiver went and got it and scored. I don't know, I can't remember if he scored or got a first down. And something just quickened in my spirit. You know, as we say in church, it quickened in my spirit that God will send our promises to where we're supposed to be, not to where we're running. So if you get to where you're supposed to be, that's where the blessing is. That's where your promise is. The quarterback didn't throw the pass to the receiver. He threw the pass where the receiver is supposed to go.
That's a good word, Jay. I like that. That's the truth. The time that because they had worked on the timing.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
In the huddle, they had already talked about the route. So he's not going to throw the ball to the receiver. He's going to throw the ball to where the route leads him.
Yep.
And watch this. Watch this. This is where people miss it. Sometimes God will send your blessings, not sometimes, but God will send your promises and your blessings to where you're supposed to be. And when the quarterback throw that ball to where the receiver is supposed to be, if he's not there, but the opponent is in position, guess what happens?
You get an interception.
Somebody else get that promise.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Just get to where God wants you to be, and watch some doors open up.
Man, thank you. Now added preacher, comedian, businessman, and philanthropist, and seminar specialist, Mr. J. Stevens, and Mr. D gave you the applause. That's the first official applause that Mr. D ever gave.
That's all right. That's all right.
So, Jay, before we go, have you give the family your contact information.
Oh, yeah, it's jstevenslive.com, JAY-StevensLive.com. And I know most of your listeners are a lot of your listeners are in Toledo and Michigan. And don't forget, people, I will be at the Toledo Funny Bone in Perrysburg, December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, the week of Christmas. Come on out because we going to have a blast that week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Christmas Eve is not until that Sunday. So come on out, man. We going to have a blast.
Man, that's all right, Jay. That's all right. As always, I appreciate you, brother. Keep on doing what you're doing because you're doing it right. And we appreciate you, man. You have a good weekend. Oh, good week. We are on the weekend.
Absolutely. God bless you. You have a good one, Dr. Sizzle.
All right, Jay. That was my man, comedian Jay Stevens. Like Jay said, come check him out. Coming up to the Christmas day, 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th, Christmas Eve. And check Jay out at the Funny Bone. We appreciate him calling in. Jay always come in with some good stuff. And for you Cleveland Cavaliers fans, we expect something out of you this week because you picked up Isaiah Thomas and D. Wade. Say, I'm out of Chicago. Keep the money. I'm gone. And he hook it up with his boy LeBron. Well, we're going to take a real quick break. And when we come back, we're going to really now dig into the core, talk about So You Want to Be Married. This is the Dr. Sam Show. I am your host, Dr. Sam, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ben Affleck. The only thing better than playing a hero in the movies is being a hero in real life. Like the 50,000 veterans who
Facebook Live, we take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We about to dig in this subject, man. I'm ready to rock and roll talking about So You Want to Be Married. Yeah, some of you want to be married. Some of you need to be married. All of you probably get married. I don't know about Mr. D, though, because, you know, his uncle passed away. He got to take over the empire, the Playboy empire. His uncle died, passed away, Mr. Hugh Hefner. So, ladies, you can expect Mr. D probably being more silk robes than normal, even out in daylight. Oh, man.
A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
And we're back. This is your friend Dr. Sam, and you are tuned into the Dr. Sam Show, where I'm your host, confidant, and friend, or your BFF in the media and in radio. And we just left off talking to my man Jay Stevens. Check Jay out again coming up to Christmas holiday weekend, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, I believe Jay said. He'll be at the Funny Bone here in Perrysburg, Ohio. Check it out. You're going to have a blast, man. Check this man out live, man. Jay going to have you cracking up. Before we left, but I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that we're praying for the people in Puerto Rico and, the people recovering from the hurricanes in Florida and Texas. If you can, send whatever you can, money, food, and stuff, to the people in Puerto Rico. And, they have a devastating situation down there, and we know that they need help. So I don't want to forget, we're keeping them up in prayer and thinking about them. I'll be watching the situation almost, every morning on the news. And, it's a devastating situation, man. When you lose everything overnight, it can put some stress under you. I know President Trump and the mayor had some words back and forth, but the mayor said as far as she's concerned, she don't have no ill willings or ill feelings for the president. She just, she want her people to be helped. And I totally understand that. Anybody in that situation would know that when tragedy happens like that, man, it's all about, getting some help. But they are now starting to get some help from the U.S. and different parts of the world is helping them. But mostly the U.S. and they finally, cut through some of the streets and all that other stuff. But we just want to send out our prayers for them on Puerto Rico, and I don't want to forget that. Now, the subject for today again is So You Want to Be Married, and also I want to, in behalf of Mr. D, for those of you who didn't know, Mr. Hugh Hefner died at 91 years old. That's Mr. D's uncle. And Mr. D is looking to take over the empire. So like I said earlier, if you see him, ladies, in more silk robes than normal, and he's talking slower, you will know what happened. So in honor of Mr. D, I thought I would say that. He's kind of sad about it, but he's going to be up and running by 11 p.m. tonight. I'm not going to tell you how or why, but he will be. So that's for you, Mr. D.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we talking about why you want to be married. And like I said earlier, I gave some reasons of why people want to get married or be in marriage. But one of some of the things I want to talk about is what you need to do before you actually attempt to do it, or you want to cross that line. So number one, I'm gonna get right out the gate and say this: but when you come into being married, one of the two most powerful things you want to do is the 2 T's, I call them. Is tell the truth, and you got to have trust. See, one of the things, like there's that saying that everybody has skeletons in their closet. Well, if you get married, you probably going to need to tell your spouse or future spouse those skeletons in the closet, because if you don't, what you're doing is you already setting a foundation for misperception. Because it's like, for example, if you a smoker and the person you with really don't know that, like in the first month or something, that's something you would need to tell them just so they would know. I know a lot of people are scared to tell the truth for the mere fact they think that person won't like me anymore if they really knew who I was. But I beg to differ with you, and I know this is easier said than done for most people. If you tell the truth, you want to know, does that person genuinely like you for who you are, or the mistakes or the failures you have had, or the victories. So don't go in and being scared. Go into it as looking at, I want to get to the truth, because that's what it is. You don't want nobody that's not going to take you in the beginning for who you are. Now, notice I said in the beginning, because there is a horrible statement that a lot of grown adults say, you just have to take me who I am. I've said on this show many a day, nobody has to take you the way you are. And then on top of that, people change all the time. The older we get, the wiser we get, the more knowledgeable we get. we change. So quit saying you have to take me as I am. No, what you should say, and if you're willing to work with me, we can start from where I'm at now and we can build together. But I'll do a whole nother show on that another day. But one of the most powerful things you will have to do, and I know it's easier said than done, is you have to tell the truth going in. Like if you have, say you got 6 toes versus 5, that's something you might want to tell that other person before y'all get together. So they don't be shocked when you take off your shoe, pass out, fall out, and you had to take them to the hospital. And I know a lot of people have a hard time of telling the truth because back in the day, I was one of them. I mean, I did a lot of things I was ashamed of, but some things I just, you know what, she don't really need to know that. But when you make a decision and that you want to pursue this relationship or get serious enough to you coming to maybe being engaged or asking the person to marry him, you need to put everything on the table, because that's how you really start with a clean, clear, productive state. You knew I used to rob banks for a living. Can you live with that? I don't do that no more. Can you live with that? If she says no, then you know to move on. Now, say you don't tell her you rob banks and she's watching one of those shows, they show thieves from 10 years ago, and they're going to picture your face on the screen in 77 in a slow motion reel coming out the bank while you was robbing it. And she said, that looks like you. And you said that, and they say your name and stuff. For her to find out like that, man, let me tell you something. Unless she really loves you, you pretty much blew your relationship. Because let me tell you this, when you don't tell the person closest to you the truth, or the person you want to go into the marriage, man, it stings, because we go in into believing that if there's nobody else in the world, here come that second T word, that you can trust me. So in order to get to real trust, you got to start off with the truth. And so the truth will guide you to the trust. Well, could you imagine somebody knowing all the bad, horrible things you are, and how you used to be, and how horrible of a person you used to be, and now you all great and good, and they still love you after that? Man, I'm telling you, that's a wonderful thing. And they love you after that. When you started that truth, man, that's a euphoria that very few people experience in their life, of somebody knowing everything about them and don't change how they feel, that other person feels about them. And that's a beautiful thing. Actually, that's how God loves us. And so that's another thing for those of you that are not spiritual, that's going to be spiritual today, is that you really want somebody that God is loving you through them. And that is telling the truth and being trustworthy. And so you want to tell the truth, and you want to have somebody that you can trust. Because you want to get married, the way you start off a marriage is what the premise and the foundation that you starting off with. Like I'm saying, if you're not telling all of your business or telling what that other person needs to know, or let's say it like this for all you players out there that's trying to keep the low game, anything that she or he needs to know that could possibly come out some time in the future. And so, like, if you used to date her sister, she probably need to know that. if you a sexual predator, I mean, outside of your picture being all over the place, because you know people with sexual offenders have to register now, you might want to tell her that, because if she find out anyway and you didn't tell her, she gonna leave you anyway. So you might as well be honest up front. So telling the truth is one of the most powerful things that you can do up front. And that's what you want to do, is and tell the truth and the other T word, so you can have trust. Man, it is no feeling, one of the greatest feelings you could ever have is being in love and being totally with somebody that you can trust, man. That's the type of security that even the FDIC, the Federal Deposit, and a bank can't give you on $250,000, is somebody that loves you unconditionally and that you trust them 1,000%, and they never violate that trust. You can't buy that. And so one of the most important things, so you say you want to be married, is you need to tell the truth, and you need to find somebody you can trust. And even if you have somebody you can trust, that trust is broken, somebody you can even restore the trust with. Because in life sometimes both of those will be broken. Somebody that could tell the truth is going to tell a lie. Somebody that had your trust is going to become untrustworthy. But that's one of the most important. That's number 3. And number 2, I'm not really numbered, I'm just going to talk them today, is that you got to have somebody that you can rebound with, that you guys can work through conflict. And that's key. Because if you can't work through conflict, and I mean any kind of conflict, you probably not going to have a successful marriage. Because I guarantee you, there are things coming up where you're going to have to work it together, and you're going to have to work it with somebody who got some common sense. Because if they don't have that common sense, and for those of you that don't know what common sense is, it's stuff that's common. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's common stuff. Go to work is common. Go into the bathroom is common. Eating is common. People that can't figure out the basic things that have conversation, you probably don't want to enter into any relationship with them because you want to be married. And let me say this. All of the stuff I'm saying so far are not bad. What I'm telling you is some factual, some truthful, and stuff from experience of being married that you're going to have to be prepared for. You want to be married to a person that's going to tell you the truth. And the reason I'm telling you that, because a lot of times it can hurt, and most people are scared to reveal who you are. But I say this, you might as well tell them anyway, because if they hang out with you long enough, they're going to start figuring them out. And number 2, like I said, you don't want anything that you've hidden to later possibly get out in the open. I used to say this years ago, man, it was so funny, is that one of the worst things for a man is to have a woman, a girlfriend or fiance, that every time y'all walk past guys, they all seem to know her. I remember, I think it was one of my cousins years ago, we was talking about, he said, man, I was this girl, man, it seemed like everywhere we went, man, all the dudes knew her. They were like, hi, Barbara. Hey, Barbara. And he like wondered, like, how do you know all these guys? If you have a woman that a lot of guys know, like, you probably gonna need to ask some questions. That's what I'm talking about. It's the trust and the truth factor. So you got to have somebody where you're willing to tell the truth to, and they accept you for everything you lay on the table. And like Yala Van Zant said, put it to the gut, bring it down to gut level and do it. And like I said, it's easier said than done. A lot of people don't want to do it. They'll say they can't do it because we are afraid that people won't like us for who we are. And that's just the way it is. But in the long term, the long run, in the long run, it's going to be better off for you to find out where somebody is at right out the gate before you consider marrying them. And the other thing is, like I said, trust. It's hard to trust people. I mean, I've had people I trusted and they was talking behind my back at the same time. Now, if people want to do that, that's just how they are. I was disappointed, but I wasn't really upset about it because people are people. And so you got to get to, know that person. You want to ask questions. One of the things, you got to ask a lot of questions. And let me tell you this, family, because we're going to be going to a commercial break in a little bit. They'll be bringing Miss Money Coach Rhonda Cobb in the building. Is when you're considering marrying anybody, there are no questions that are off limits. If you're with somebody that says, I don't want to talk about that, I respect that on Tuesday. But coming up in a week or so, we're going to talk about that. Because you need to be able to talk about that with that person. There are no questions that are off limits when you're considering marrying somebody. Even some of the most ridiculous questions in the world, they all on the same level. And I suggest, for those of you that say they want to be married, ask the person whatever comes across your mind. I don't care how silly it sounds in your head, how stupid you think it is. You better ask questions to find out, are they telling you the truth? And can you trust them? Now, I elaborated on the 2 T's a little longer than I would, but I feel the need to talk about those. So you got to ask the truth. You got to have the truth. You got to do the truth. You got to do the truth, and you got to tell them who you are so they'll know. If you real short, you got to tell If you short, you got to tell them. If you a short guy, not that kind of short, but short, you know, tall short, you got to tell them. If you're short and height-wise, you just got to tell them. So one of the most important things to always be truthful, no matter how it hurts or where it's going, because you really want somebody to make up their mind, can and will they be with you no matter what. And when people really see the real you and they can make a decision on that, you already in a win-win situation. And the other thing is, if you can find somebody you can totally trust or restore trust with, you have a diamond on either side. Because sometimes trust is broken. But if you can restore it and build a new trust, that's a person you definitely want to be with, because sometimes we all fall short. We all make bad decisions. I didn't say mistakes. I said bad decisions. Because a lot of grown folks mistakes, and they're actually decisions you're making. They're not mistakes. And so that's what that is for that. That's the first part. But we about to go into a commercial break. Subject matter today talking about, so you want to be married. And later on, I'm going to be talking about how much you should really spend on a first date. Don't let them fool you. It's not a lot. So I got me and Mr. D in the house. Miss Money Rhonda, Money Coach Cobb, is coming up after our commercial break. This is the Dr. Sam Show. I am your host, confidant, and friend, Dr. Sam, and we will be right back.
Hey, man. We going to talk to them about whether or not they get to share that information outside of the relationship? Because, man, that's a big one.
Oh, gossiping.
Well, no, like, you tell your lady something that happened, you know, years ago that most of your friends don't know about. You said sweet tea, so I was listening.
Facebook friends, we about to go on our national commercial break, but I got my sweet tea, McDonald's. Again, I want to thank our sponsor, McDonald's, for bringing the love. So I'm going to be carrying a cup. I'll probably have it on my head.
There you go.
I'm going to have it right here. I'm going to be drinking it. And McDonald's. So I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to national break. And then I'm going to come back on the air. I'm going to bring Miss Rhonda, who is in the building.
Hello.
I got Mr. D over here. He's a little sad today because of the passing of Mr. Hugh Hefner, Mr. D's nephew. And so, you know, we honoring Mr. D today. And he'll probably be wearing more silk pajamas just to honor his uncle.
Definitely more silk, man.
Definitely.
What's going on?
Hi, sweetie.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Good thing I was listening, man. So I go to McDonald's and I stand in line and I say to the lady, I said, I don't care what size drink cup you give me as long as it says McDonald's, because Dr. Sam's on the air. She goes, oh, okay, I know. And she just gives me this beautiful
She
cup.
know what?
That you were on the air and that you need
Oh,
the
yeah.
cup that said McDonald's. I'm like, I don't know how she knew, but okie dokie.
I don't know. I think I'm getting famous, Rhonda. Don't tell nobody, though.
Well, that would be all right.
Oh.
You
What's
okay?
up, Facebook? Yeah. I'm just starting to wake up. You can get in this Monday. This Miss Rhonda, Money Coach Cobb in the building.
See, I'm short, okay? He's taller. See, look
Not
at
that
this.
much taller.
Yes, you
It's
are.
just because my head is
Stand
big.
up straight.
My head is bigger.
Stand up straight. Suck
See
it
that?
up.
Look,
there
look.
you go. Now
See?
you're...
It ain't that much
I got
taller.
on a heel. If I was in flats, I'd be a little shorter. And not that tall of a person, you know? Yeah. And... Yeah. Yeah, you definitely need to tell them not to be blabbing when somebody tells you.
You should tell them about your Money Bunny book and stuff while we off there on radio, but we on there.
Oh, okay.
Talk to them.
Oh, yeah.
You can
okay.
talk. Go ahead.
Big shout out, Facebook. I want to say thank you to Miss Denise Phillips, who owns Gathering Volumes in Perrysburg, because yesterday she hosted me for a book signing of my Money Bunny for Youth book, and that was awesome. And it's a beautiful, independently owned bookstore in Perrysburg, so big shout out and thank you to Miss Denise. The Money Bunny for Youth is an activity book. It comes with a little pack of crayons, and it's for anybody of any age, probably after about the age of 5, that wants to learn the basics of money and money management in a really fun way. And our illustrator of the book, Miss Randy, is 21-ish. And she said, you know, I actually learned a lot about illustrating this book. So it's not just for children. It's for anybody that feels like they'd like to get a good start on learning the basics of money. And it's awesome. It's a great book. So you can get that online at my website, rcmoneycoach.com. You can get it at Gathering Volumes in Perrysburg. Or if you live in the Toledo area, you can get it at a bookstore, another independent bookstore called People Called Women, which is in Sylvania on Holland Sylvania Road. It is an awesome book. Big thanks to the city of Toledo. They used it in the summer youth program.
Man, that's good,
It
Ron.
was nice. Thank you.
Did you sign autographs in the book?
Yesterday,
Pass them out.
Yes, I did. I signed the books yesterday. I felt like I got a really big head today, so don't get too close. You probably get bumped. But
that money book, Facebook family, that money bunny book is excellent. You know, for adults and especially kids. I mean, I know you meant to write it for adults, but I mean write it for kids. But it was so good. Actually applied to adults.
Yes.
Too. It's a very good book, especially if you want to teach your kids about money. So when we come back on the air in a little bit, she'll give her info again. And if you can't find her, which you should be able to, you can just contact the Dr. Sam Show, but through the website www.thedrshamshow.us, or you can actually also go on the Dr. Sam Show Facebook page and say, I want Rhonda's number, I want her book, tell her to call me now, Leon. And go from there.
We can do that.
Call and leave her info. We'll get you contact. That's if you cannot for some reason get to her.
Yeah.
There go Mr. D, ladies.
Quick, get past. Hide.
Mr. D, boy, and for those of you, his real name is Daniel, but the ladies refer to him as Mr. D. And like I said, you have his nephew.
When I use this one,
yeah, I use that so she can use that one. So.
How are we doing on time? What are we got?
It's 12.
I was looking at
Oh my
the news
God,
today.
you guys, it's October 1st already. Can you believe this? Oh
the year went
my.
by quick.
It has.
I seen on the news this morning, they was talking about Hugh Hefner's passing. And they was referring to, do we celebrate him or do we criticize him? You know, like what part, you know, versus helping all the cause he did versus, I mean, they didn't say it in a negative way. They was just doing it as a comparison as a news piece.
Well, you know, I guess there was both.
Yeah, that's what that's actually a conclusion.
You know, he catered to a very high-end audience of, you know, if you were ever in one of those clubs, you know that it was a fairly high-end audience, and it was very well run. It was very clean and very nice, and they had a certain level of behavior that they expected the gentlemen to adhere to in terms of the ladies and the outfits that
Mr.
did
D,
the
how was the
serving.
club, man, before they shut it down? Did you get the key? You had a key, did you? Because they was at the club members back then, they had keys. They gave out Playboy
they had
keys.
keys that were shaped
just
like the
get
bunny head. Yes, they did. Yeah, I got to go to the club in New York City. It was gorgeous. So it was really cool. No, I didn't work there. I'm not that tall.
You talking about the Playboy Club?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know I'm going to bring that up, right?
I don't care. I don't care. I went. I didn't work there. I wasn't tall enough.
You wasn't tall enough. You tried?
No.
Oh, man, you said you tall enough. All right, I'm ready to go back.
Gosh.
Oh, we're back. Welcome to the Dr. Sam Show. I am your host, Dr. Sam. I am cracking up. I am in the house with my man, Mr. D, who is very sad by the passing of Mr. Hugh Hefner. Mr. D is going to dedicate 25% more of his life to wearing silk pajamas. And I'm trying to talk him off for not getting the pipe. But that's another story. So Mr. D, Mr. Hefner's nephew, is very sad. And before we came on the air, the money coach Rhonda Cobb is coming up in a second, but I just told her I wanted to make reference that she said she went to the Playboy, one of the Playboy clubs in New York back in the day, but she couldn't get a key though. She had to come with somebody. She was a visitor.
I was a date.
So she went past by the Playboy Club, and she said it was nice, it was organized, it was clean. But while I brought her name up already, I want to introduce to you our money bunny coach, Miss Rhonda, the money expert, the empress of finance. Put your hands together and show your love for Miss Rhonda, the money coach Kyle.
Awesome. Thank you. What a great introduction. Now let's just clear this up. I was not a bunny. I was not tall enough. Anyway, I went as a guest, and it was cool. It was really fun. So anyway, oh my gosh, you guys, it is already October 1st. And I woke up this morning with a cold nose. So I have either become a very enthusiastic roly-poly puppy, or fall is upon us. And I don't think I'm so roly-poly, and I'm definitely not a puppy, so that must mean the fall is here. And with fall comes the fourth quarter of the year. So for all of our small business owners, including a great big shout out of thanks to Miss Denise of Gathering Volumes in Perrysburg, who hosted the book signing for me yesterday for the Money Bunny for Youth, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you need to do in the fourth quarter so that you can finish 2017 strong in your business. And first and foremost, of course, if you're an independent business owner like Miss Denise and many, many, many others in our listening area, what do you want to do to differentiate yourself from the big box stores or the online stores? Well, of course, you want to have an online presence and you want to make things as convenient for your customers as you can. But when they come into the store, you want to do a really good job. Is it welcoming? Is it clean? Is it organized? Do you put your actions where your words are? Are they getting what you tell them that they're getting? Don't be like this one big company that invited me in and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I bought what they were offering and the bill came and it was 4 times what they told me the bill would be. And the service came and it wasn't great. And I never could get it resolved so they can have their stuff back. Thank you. Anyways, NO, next opportunity. So do not be an NO kind of a company. Be the kind of company that provides exemplary, knock your socks off customer service. And people will keep coming back to you again and again and again. And I know as an independent business owner, it is so hard to get your pricing down to what these big box stores do because you aren't buying in volume. Do the best you can do, but what you want to differentiate yourself on is the real true customer service, the real true product knowledge, and the real true you live here, you work here, you are here. So people, I encourage you, buy local, be local, help out the independent owner. The person you may be helping might be the person that lives next door to you, the one that keeps their house up and the lawn mowed. They need to be able to afford that just the same way that you do. So anyway, and for the rest of the fourth quarter, this is the end of the year. So if you haven't already planned your great big holiday season, it's October 1st, let's get it on the planning books. You need to start promoting it. And you need to start promoting it pretty quickly. And don't forget, Shop Local Saturday, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's time to plan that. If you don't already have it planned, let's get it planned. Let's get it in the bag. Now, for the Money Bunny for Youth, we're going to talk about that just one more time. The Money Bunny for Youth is a great gift. It's a great gift for yourself. It's a great gift for anybody else. And you can get it at Gathering Volumes. You can also get it at People Called Women. And you can get it on my website, rcmoneycoach.com. And if you have a question for me, because open enrollment's coming up, don't forget that. This is a very busy quarter of the year, people. Open enrollment is so important. Don't forget to put yourself on the waiting list. rcmoneycoach@gmail.com. You get help with your open enrollment. It costs you nothing to get help in your open enrollment. Nothing, okay? And it's a tedious job. I've got 12 hours worth of training in just to be ready to help you with your open enrollment. So don't wait. get that email sent. And that's me, the money coach, Rhonda Cobb. And you know what I'm going to say before I say it. Be grateful, and you will attract good things.
Thank you, Miss Money Coach, and I am grateful. And me and Mr. D are attracting things. I know Mr. D is attracting things different than I am, but he is attracting things. We thank you for all the knowledge and all the wisdom that you give in money every week. We appreciate you. That's Money Coach, Miss Rhonda Cobb. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the subject, So You Want to Be Married. This is the Dr. Sam Show, and we'll be right back.
Was that okay?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Denise will love it.
Thanks, Denise.
Yeah, she's a sweetie.
Someday, many years from now, grown up.
Is that good? Did I do good?
Yeah, that's good. I got some lemon in it or something.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a
please.
little lemonade because I didn't know if you liked lemon. So I put a little lemonade and a little tea.
I'm feeling real
Oops, this is your pen.
Jamaican-ness.
Awesome. Yeah. I like it. They just hand you the cup and you get to go fill it. I like that. I'm like, oh, cool. I can put a little lemon in my tea. I like that.
Oh, man.
All right. You need me to stay?
I wondered if
making sure they brush their teeth is easier.
I told Nene to come in, but I forgot I was using my phone, so I told her to come in and record too, but I don't know if she actually got that message. But I can have a meeting with you guys next week. I want to have a meeting. I want to do that. Oh, that's right. You're not going to be here.
I'm working with the Detroit Lions.
If you want to, you can hang around if you don't mind. If not, I can just call you later. Either
okay. Why don't you call me later and...
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. All right, that'll be great. Okay, kids. Be good.
All right, now, Miss Have a good day, a good week, and all that good stuff.
Okay, feel better. Okay,
all right, now, Miss Money Coach.
Okay, sweetie. Okay, see ya.
This Miss Rhonda Money Coach, she is officially leaving the building. That's her right there. Facebook family.
Have an awesome week. Okay? Tomorrow I'm going to post on my Facebook thing a thing you need to see, so look at it. You know, Rhonda Cobb Money Coach on Facebook.
All right, see you later, Rhonda.
Bye-bye.
For money-saving tips that can help put your financial house in order and avoid future financial headaches, call the National Foundation for Credit Counseling today at 1-800-388-2227 or visit
Get me off the credit.
A service from the NFCC.
Oh, Sookie now. Boy, that music boy make a brother want to jam. All right, Mr. D. We're back. For those of you that are tuning in, I am your host, Dr. Sam, and you're listening to the Dr. Sam Show, where we're talking about So You Want to Be Married. I got Mr. D in the house and myself. And for those of you that were listening earlier, Mr. D is mourning the death of his uncle, Mr. Hugh Hefner, and he will be picking up more of his silk pajama supply. You all right, Mr. D?
I'm all right.
He good. He good. He good. He getting through it. He getting through it. I like to say again to thank to my partners, McDonald's. In honor of them every week, I got the sweet tea. Thank them for partnering with the Dr. Sam Show. We look forward to a long and prosperous partnership. I appreciate them for believing in the Dr. Sam Show and connecting with them. And it's a wonderful thing. So I want to give the props to our partners, McDonald's, being one of our sponsorships for the Dr. Sam Show. And also I want to remind everything, we got some great stuff coming up. I got some big announcements to make. So I want you to closely follow us. Follow the show. Check out the social media. Follow me. I got some announcements coming out. We got some direction we going. It's going to be big. We taking everything to the next level. And all I'm going to say is when you hear it, don't beg me for money. So we got some things. God has been good to us. We got some things coming up. So I'm happy that you're a part of it, family. And, of course, I always love you. And so we got some big things coming up. What we're talking about, So You Want to Be Married. And I left off talking about telling the truth and trust. And one of the most important things in both of those is you have to tell the truth, man. I know it's going to hurt, and you got to tell the truth so you could build the trust. And that's one of the most important things in the relationship. And so I'm going to move on. And also, like Miss Mimi, say hi, Mimi. It's talking about for better or for worse. I said for better or for worse, though, just don't make it worse all the time. I have a slogan I always say, I want to have more good days than bad days with you. And we're going to have a little of both, but I want to have more good days than bad days with you. So the other thing that I want to talk about, and so you want to get married, and I kind of, hey, Mr. D, could you cut that track down just a tad bit, just a little bit? I know he over here thinking, y'all. You ain't got to cut it off. That's good right there. I can hear that. Okay. He said, you know, Mr. D a little choked up today, so I'm going to give him a break. And so, number 3 is, if you want to be married, you cannot, under any circumstances, start off with a fake foundation. And that foundation based off of mistrust and lies, kind of the opposite of truth and trust, is mistrust and lies. Anytime you enter any relationship with that foundation, believe me, that's going to be the death of the relationship. Because when you come in, lying, when people lie, now let's talk about lying for a minute. When people lie, most of the time they lie because they don't want to deal with any type of confrontation that the truth brings with it. So the lie is easier. The only problem is, if you a horrible liar, you can't keep the lie straight. And that's when people start calling you a liar, because you don't know how to lie right. So why lie when you can tell the truth? Ain't that right, Mr. D? When you dating 3 girls at the same time, don't you tell the truth, Mr. D? You tell the truth. So they know, because to tell the lie, lying is too much work. Sometimes I know it give you the short-term results where you can get out of it real quick, even when you're in a relationship or married or get married or engaged. It's temporary relief, but in the long term, man, lies are exhausting. It's too much work to lie. When you build up all them lies, and especially when you start believing your own lie, that's just way, way too much work. Stop lying, man. Just tell the truth. Because in a relationship, you know how you would lie in a relationship, but you get mad when the other person lies to you? Why would you do that? Just stop lying. So you don't want to build a relationship off of a fake foundation. And a fake foundation could be based off of mistrust and lies. And that's something you don't want to do. And so when you want to be married, I'm going back to the original, you want to tell the truth. And you want to have trust. You want to find somebody to trust. Like I said, those two are golden. If you can find a human being on the planet that can give you the 2 T's, you've already conquered 90% of living like heaven on earth. You've already got 90% if you can find somebody like that. One of the other things that I want to back up a little bit and talk about, so you want to be married. You have to take care of yourself first. You have to know you. You got to do some investment in you. If you're not doing some investing in you while you are single, you are not even relatively close to being married or being in a relationship with anybody. What if you're not willing to invest in yourself, how are you going to invest in somebody else? And I know when people say, you know, I love you, and I always say, you can't love me if you don't love yourself. Nobody can skip themselves to love somebody else. Nobody can skip themselves to give somebody else what they need. It might look like it on the surface. You can go through some of the actions. It's like, if I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you can skip yourself and make me that. But that peanut butter and jelly sandwich is only going to last me so long. I'm going to be hungry again. So you have to be able to feed me all the time. In order to do that, it has to be something you have in you that fills me up, filled up my voice, or makes me feel like I'm full, or I've eaten something and I feel relaxed, or I feel protected, or I feel settled. It has to be something in you that has the capacity to give to me on a constant basis, just like breathing. But you can't do that if you have not done yourself like that. So it's very important that you invest in yourself while you're single. Because you know what's wrong with you. You know your problems, your ups and downs, your good and bad. And somebody else is going to find out about that if you don't take care of it first. So you need to work on you while you're single before you get married. I'm just talking about things that say, so you want to be married. And if you want to be married, you're going to have to learn how to invest in yourself before you can deal with anybody else. I'm just telling you that now. You have to embrace your own independence and understand what that represents. That's why I don't understand why independent people want to get in relationships and then claim they're independent. Why get in a relationship? That's not what independence is for. You will have your own identity. I mean, if you were male and female, if your name Bob and your name Jackie, if one of you drive a truck versus the other drive a car, you have your own identity. But you can't bring independence into no partnership. I don't care how many of you say otherwise. I don't care if you get mad. You can call your grandma and tell her I said that. You cannot bring your independence into a partnership because it has no value. It has no place. Why would you want to be independent in a partnership anyway unless you were selfish? Yep, I said it. Why would you bring independence in a relationship unless you were selfish? Because it's teamwork you need in a relationship, and it's not independent. So before you get married, you work on your independence. That's when you're dealing with yourself and whatever is important to you, whether it's getting your money straight, getting your body straight, your mind straight, your spirit straight, whatever you got to work on. As a single person, do that in your own independence so you can learn how, when you cross with somebody else, you become teamwork. And I would admonish people this that are single that want to be married. Whether you take this class in college or whether you experience this in real life, whether it's working at a company where y'all do projects together or being on some level of sports, you have to learn the concept of teamwork. And I'll even go a little further than that. I talk to groups about having transferable skills for the workplace. Transferable skills is like resourcefulness, creativity, teamwork, things like that, comprehensive. These are some of the exact same skills you need to enter into a relationship. You can't have a successful relationship if you don't know about teamwork or you don't understand how that works. You can't have a successful relationship if you don't know creativity. Them times we've been together so long and now we starting to get in a routine and we get bored or we having a euphoria about this boredom we experience. So you got to get creative. So you got to know how to be creative. Also a transferable skill, you need to take the initiative. In the relationship, guess what you got to do sometimes? You got to take the initiative. When a husband and wife get together, the husband don't want to be the one that's always chasing the wife for sex and vice versa. You got to take the initiative in some area. And one of the good ways to do it is to take the initiative in the areas that you are strong in because you both have your strengths and weaknesses. So some of the same stuff you learned at home, some of the same stuff you learned in your family, bad and good, some of the same stuff you learned at work, these same type of skills you're going to need to take into marriage. So you want to be married. You got to take some of these skills with you. Marriage is smart work. It is very smart, hard work. It's full of compromise. It's full of joy, sometimes sadness, sometimes anger, sometimes confusion, sometimes frustration, sometimes love, all the time love, sometimes joy. These are all the emotions and all the experience you're going to go through when you marry. And I know the fantasy never tells you that, especially for ladies. When they create these fantasies of getting married since they're little girls, have the house and the 2.5 kids with the, I didn't understand what the half a kid was until I heard the R. Kelly song, Half on a Baby. Somebody explained that to me. I said, okay, that makes sense to me. That I couldn't figure out the 2.5 kids before. And the dog in the fence. The fantasy would tell you you're going to meet the man of your dreams and all of this stuff is going to work out. Practical application says otherwise. Oh, it's going to be things, everything could work out. But you're going to have to work them out. So before you get married, I admonish you to learn these sets of skills. And like we were saying, the truth is who you are. That's your integrity, your ethics of how you go about life. You willing to lay it on the line and tell the person you want to be in a relationship about telling the truth. And then trust, building and having trust in somebody that no matter what, you could trust them. And I'm telling you, the 2 P's, provide and protect, those are at the top of the chart for a man. Provide and protect, and trust and truth is at the top of the deck. So you don't fall into mistrust and lies, or you don't start your relationship or your evaluation or your assessment or your Q&A session with the person you're talking to. And one of the most important things I would say, again, some of the stuff I'm saying over, because I want you to get this in your head. And while I'm going on, I want to tell everybody that's listening on radio, we are Facebook Live. This is me, the brother, waving a hand. We are Facebook Live. You want to join and watch these wonderful, well, I'm the only one you can see at the moment. Mr. D is at the side. If you want to check us out on Facebook Live, we are live right now on Facebook. But like I said, I'm going over some of these again because I want these to really get in your spirit, to get in your subconscious, to get in your mind. And also, again, there is no question that is off limits when you're considering a relationship with anybody. No question. No question is off limits. And if somebody take offense to some of the questions, that should give you a head start, or this just might not be it, because they kind of taking offense to something I have the right to ask. And one of the things so you want to be married, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid. Especially for men. Men have been taught from society, and it's just us as men, our job is to impress the women. And I will say that to a degree, it really is, because we compete for women. I know ladies know this, but it's on a whole nother level for competing with men. But most men, I'm not talking about them scoundrels like they used to say back on Dallas back in the day, but I'm talking about most men when they're competing, for example, for the same woman. If that other man wins, that other gentleman would normally back out. Now, you got scoundrels like J.R. Hewings of the world that they don't care whether that man won. They're going to keep coming at her. So us men, we compete. And when we get married, and I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit with the men, when we look at being married, we looking at our financial situation. Can we take care of you financially first? That even comes before we think we could love you forever. Can we take care of you? That's the first question with a man. We never ask ourselves, can I love her for the rest of my life? No, that's like number 2 or 3. Can I take care of her? Because for a man not to be able to take care of his woman or his family, to the world of the man club is a disgrace. And we feel embarrassed and ashamed. And that's a man thing. That's that protect and provide. If we know we can't protect and provide, or we with you. Let me give you this example. Let me back up, because my man Mr. D is in the building. If you have a man that say he had a job, a good job, a career. Let's lose careers on the Dr. Sam Show. We ain't going to use jobs. We're going to use the word career. And he loses it. And when a lady or the wife will wonder why is he acting funny, or he seems a little on edge. When a man loses his ability within himself to feel like he can't protect and provide, that means all bets are off on everything else. This becomes his number one priority. Even over sex, this becomes his number one priority for somebody he loves. Now, I'm talking about those guys. I'm not talking about the other ones. This becomes his number one priority. He wants to protect and love, because it's part of the essence of who we are as good men. We want to protect and provide. So before a man gets married, this is what he thinks about first. Can I protect and provide? He know he could love her, because once we make our mind up, we want you. We pretty much want you, and that's just it. It don't take us thinking about it for long periods of time. When we make our mind up, we want you, then we want you. That's why when you see a man that's taking a long time, y'all been together like 300 years, and y'all haven't got married, or he hasn't proposed, even brought it up, or he never tell you his long-term plans, it's because he hasn't gotten that point where he can see his future with you. And ladies, you need to know that. There's no changing him out of that. There's no convincing him any other way. He don't see his future with you. That's why he don't talk about it, or he don't talk about marriage or anything like that, even though you guys are together. So you might say, well, why is he with me then? Well, because it's benefits he getting with you. Maybe you a good cook. Maybe you give him sex when he want it. Whatever you're doing That's the reason he's staying in a relationship. And at the same time, he is still considering you. That's why he's there. Because men don't stay for sex. We don't stay for food. We don't stay just because. Because every man knows that for any woman he can get these things from, he can get it from another one. So it's not that he's looking for. It's the whole package. It's the woman that he can see himself spending the rest of his life with. And before he does that, if he feel like he can take care of you, provide and protect, then the next move is, can I see myself with her for the rest of my life? That's step 2. Step 3 is then love. The first step, ladies, when a man says, so he wants to be married, can he do the 2 P's, provide and protect? Number 2, can he see himself with her for the rest of his life? And then number 3, can he love her despite everything she brought to the table? Those are the top 3 for a man. And some of you would say, how could a man trying to decide whether he want to be with a woman long term before he love her? Because of all the attributes that she is as a woman. A man knows that if this woman has the things that she likes, it's easy to love her. And so we don't think we're going to love her in spite of. We think first, in spite of, I love everything about her, so that makes me easy to love her. That's how men think. If I can see my life with her, then it's easy to love her. I'm going to say that again, lady. If a man can see his life with you long term, it's easy for him to love you. Ladies are reversed. They normally will love the man and then formulate how they can make it work long term, even if they see his shortcomings. But when a woman sees and falls in love, when she decides she loves him, then she formulates, how can I make this last, or how can we do long term? The man is opposite. The man thinks, can I do long term with her? Because if I can, then it makes it easy to love her. So these are those 2 things about, so do you want to be married? Another reason, like I said, for men to get married, and then I'm going to go to the lady. A man would get married when he can't see his life without you. When he finds a woman of his dreams and he can't picture his long term, the rest of his life, his journeys, his goals, his accomplishment, and he can't see doing any of them without you, that man is in position to be married. I'm talking about, so you want to be married. These are some of the things the men are looking at. When he can't see his life without you, because your value is just for the fact that you on the planet and breathing, it starts from there. And then add all the attributes that you have that brings a blessing to his life. That's another reason a man makes the decision. I want to be married and I need to have my stuff together. Ladies, did you understand that? Remember, protect and provide are first for the man. If you find a man that's marrying you, even say, for example, he just lost his job and you guys are still getting married, believe me when I tell you, he on the edge. And he doing it more so out of feeling pressure or obligated than out of being free to want to do it. And I know some of you ladies will say, well, why don't he just tell me that? He want to, but he doesn't, because he don't want to lose you. He don't want you to run because of his fears or his frustrations about his workplace. That's why when a man really loses his job or his ability to produce income, a lot of times he don't up front, for the most part, tell his woman. She more like the last person he tell, because he don't want her to be disappointed, because he care about her. So that protect and provide that a man has in him before he gets married is huge, lady. Don't underestimate it. Because if you guys are ever together and he loses that, that becomes his #1 priority. It is not spending time together. It's not sex. It's not trying to, but his #1 priority is to provide and protect. When that's removed, that instantly becomes #1, and everything else is second to that. Everything. Especially if he's like that before he gets married. And then even when he's married and that happens, it's even heightened anymore because now this expectation's already built in what he's been doing the whole time. If you got any questions, pick up that phone, 866-720-1470. We talking about so you want to be married. Protect and provide. Number 2, can I see long-term with this woman for the rest of my life? Number 3 is love. And number 4 is I can't do this without her. Now notice I separated. Can I live long-term with her separate from without her I can't do that? Because those are 2 different things. Those are not the same thing. Seeing you long-term, ladies, for a man, when he sees I can be with you long-term, what he's really looking at is, can we accomplish things together? She has the intangibles, the transferable skills that I need, that we can build a partnership. B is when he with a woman that he looks at and says, I can't do this without her. That means it's stuff that he can't do on his own that he needs her for himself. Not the partnership, stuff he can only get from that woman. It's like, let me reverse this, lady, and give you an example. Now, so you will really understand what I'm talking about. You know, when you come across that man that gives you that spark, and you believe in that spark, and no other man can give you that spark. But what that spark has created in you ladies is whatever that spark is from that man that you get, you believe that only that man, that particular man, can give you what you needed because that's what that spark tells you. That's the same thing I'm talking about with a man that gets a woman that can give him what he needs to help him meet himself. I'm talking about so you want to get married. We still talking about it in the pre-marriage, and we talking about it in the marriage. So I want to move on to the next one. I think I've covered that pretty good today, but I want to move on to this one also. Are you, and I touched on this a little earlier, before you get married, are you willing, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, are you willing to leave your single life behind? See, some people, before they get married, want to take their single life, their single thoughts, single actions, single aspirations into an environment of teamwork, compromise, and partnership. Are you willing? You got to ask yourself, are you willing to leave your single life behind in behalf of the partnership, the teamwork, and the commitment, and the compromise, and the compassion for the partnership? Like I said earlier, you cannot take independence into a teamwork relationship. It don't work in sports. It don't work in the corporate office. It don't work in a family with a husband and wife are raising kids. It don't work. It don't even work in a car. Like the engine can't say, I'm not being the engine. I'm going to do what I want to do. And the transmission and everything else is all working together, but the engine wants to do its own thing. It don't work like that. So you got to really decide, because a lot of people, before they get married, they never make that commitment to leave the single life. If you love your single life, let me tell you something. If you love your single life, stay in it until you're ready to give it up in a partnership. Let me tell you why that's so crucial. Have you ever seen married people that's been married a little bit or a short period of time, to say that, and they decide, you know what, I want my single life. That's where cheating, mistrust, misconception, misperception all come into play, is when I want to leave the partnership for my own independence and my own singleness. Now, let me talk about this for a second, because I know there's people that have said that I'm in a relationship, but I'm my own man or my own woman. Yeah, you are an individual, a human being. Yes, that's correct. I made the example earlier. You drive a car, I drive a truck. You eat pizza, I eat hot dogs. You like movies, I like reality shows. Whatever that is, that's your own individuality, but individuality is not independence. And I think we get that crossed up. I'm my own individual, so I'm independent. No, you independent. You should be your own individual and independent when you're single. Because you cannot bring singleness into a relationship. Now, let me even go a little further. When people say when you're married, well, you got to do it like you was dating. Well, the reason you do it, you put some dating in your relationship, because that's where the excitement is at. That's when you was being innovative. That's when you took the initiative. That's when you was getting excited because they was coming to pick you up and you were going out. It's creating a whole different environment. That's what the dating does in the marriage, so you don't get the stalemate. I remember the great Jack Welch, used to be CEO and chairman of General Electric for years, said that if a company is not being innovative every day, they're not really being a company. They're not really a company. I'm saying that to you. If you're not being innovative every day in your singleness, getting ready for your marriage, then you're not really ready for being married. You got to be innovative in your singleness, which I'm saying is do whatever, everything you're trying to do as a single person, because you cannot bring it in a partnership. And once you get in a partnership, you got to become even more innovative so you can have the euphoria of the environment of how it felt to be free and caring being single, but now you get a partner to share that with. Matter of fact, a young man asked me a few months ago. Him and his wife had just had a baby. I think the baby was 6 months or a year old. Yeah, a year old. And he said, man, he said, Dr. Sam, man, I just had a question, man. He said, it's real hard to do anything with the child around because, they all their attention is on the baby. So it's hard for me to get time with my wife, where I feel we drifting apart a little bit because of the baby. And like on television, when they said, well, you have to learn how to adjust the baby and this is just how it's going to be, I didn't say none of that. I said, man, you don't know how blessed you are. Use the baby to your advantage. Because if you have an obstacle, and I'm saying this in respect to the baby, and you taking care of a child, that would make you even more creative. More have an adrenaline rush of how to spend time together or how to come together intimately or sit down and have fun. When you as parents, and the ones that have kids, you know how you lay your kids down and say that baby gonna sleep about 25 minutes. We got 20 minutes to get it in, whether we're gonna be intimate, whether we're gonna eat, whether we're gonna take a nap. That's the same excitement you have to use that kid or that thing that you have to pay more attention to put that spark in your relationship. You got to use that to your advantage. So any break when you get the kid goes over to granny's house for the night. And you got the day to yourself. Man, I'm saying you husband, wife, blow it up. Have the time of your life. I told this young man, use the kid to step your game up. Because now you really got to work to become creative and innovative to spend time with your wife. And it was so funny because he never heard nothing like that in his life. And he said, I'm going to do that, Dr. Sam. I said, brother, step your game up. You should be thanking the baby. Get a baby a car. Shake the baby's hand. You should thank the baby because the baby's going to bring that creativity out and everything out with your wife. Well, I want to take a quick commercial break. We're talking about So You Want to Be Married. And we'll get back to that. And like I said, towards the end of the show, I'm going to talk about how much you should spend when you go on a first date. This is the Dr. Sam Show. I'm your host, Dr. Sam, and we'll be right back. What's up, Facebook Live? We taking a quick break. Hey, I got to go to that.
Back to the dog show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group. That's right, a group known especially for couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship. And what breed would you say Satchmo is? I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier hound chihuahua looking kind of mix. Tremendous dog. I'd also like to point You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this. Now, let's see him in action. Look how he makes eye contact with his person. That's actually known as the treat stare. How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles. Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group. And finally, the loving face lick. It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks. Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one. Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock visit from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers. People who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Sunday, it's an interconference showdown as the Philadelphia Eagles head west to L.A. to face the Chargers. Hi, this is Scott Graham of Westwood One. Join Kevin Lee and Ross Tucker from the StubHub Center for all the action. The Eagles are coming off their improbable win over the Giants. Can they keep it going against the Chargers team desperate for their first win of the season? Tune in to find out. Eagles.
I'm back, live and in person.
Right here. We'll join coverage after the first game of the doubleheader.
What does it say right here?
On Talk Radio 100.7.
For our troops and their families, the military is more than a career. It's a journey, and every step along the way, the U.S.
Got my McDonald's cup again. I got some lemon in it too.
Doesn't need an ash cup.
I don't know, I ain't see her, so I don't even know if she got that. Man, I forgot to check before I did that on my phone. But it's not. If she do, she do. If she don't, it's my fault. I meant to, I thought about it yesterday, then I got tied up and I forgot to text you. About to give me an assistant for that.
Let me pick her. Let me pick her up. Her.
See, you trying to get me in trouble. See what I'm saying?
Let me get my pick of the litter.
Your picker.
To do your job.
Oh man, you a funny man, Mr. G. Trying to Quincy Jones and brother again. Oh man. All right. And we're back. For those of you that are listening, I am Dr. Sam. You're listening to the Dr. Sam Show. We're talking about So You Want to Be Married. I got my man, Mr. D, in the house with me today. Those of you who don't know, Mr. D's uncle died, Mr. Hugh Hefner. D's a little sad. But by 11 p.m. tonight, he will be all right. I'm not going to tell you how or why, but just trust me on that. We're talking about So You Want to Be Married. And I've been talking about things you really want to consider before you get married. And marriage is serious business. And one of the most important things is who you're going to be with to be married. And you better really take that under consideration. I was talking about the things that men look at before they get married. Some things that women look at. I figured I'd focus a little bit on the men today because I always focus on the women. So the men and what they look for and get married. One of the things I want to tell you, one more thing I want to talk about in that, because, man, I tell you, I need like 10 shows to talk about a subject like this. There's so many places you can go and it's so deep. But one of the things, and I think this is one of the most important things, probably in the top 3, you never, let me say this. When you want to be married, which them are the people I'm talking to today, you never want to enter or make your decision based on emotions or physical touch. Because they're not always going to be there. Some days they're off, some days you don't want to be bothered, some days you do. a lot of you pick your men and women. A lot of men pick women off of lust. And a lot of women pick men off of lies. And I'm not talking about the ladies, the man lying to you. I'm talking about you lying to yourself, knowing he a bum, and you still bring him into the boudoir. Men make the mistake of lust. And that can even happen with a woman that they really want to be with. And lust will get in the way, especially if she's exactly what we like to look at and all the other things, because a man's visual is extremely powerful. He'll overlook some nonsense for a woman that looks good to him. Just like women overlook Junebug and Knucklehead because she wants to be in a relationship or she wants to give that man a chance. Men are different, but they are the same way with women. They are visually stimulated by. They will overcompensate the stuff that she don't have for the way she look. Now, he might not stay with her. Now, you know, a man really ain't staying with no woman. He don't want to be bothered by it. Don't get it twisted. But ladies, you try to stay with men that you know right out the gate that he wasn't no good and you want to change him. So you cannot be with somebody and make your decision based on your emotions and physical touch when you decided somebody you want to be maybe potentially married to. That's a dangerous combination. If you enter into a relationship like that, I'm not saying that it can't happen and you finally, you know, make it together, because honestly, I know a couple of couples that started out like that, but that's not the norm. That's the normality to what people do, but they don't normally wind up in successful relationships like that, because outside of the physical touch and the emotions, once I have to deal with you as a person, that's a whole nother ball game. That's something entirely different. That's something I have to deal with. I have to be for, and I have to, you know, deal with you as a person. So I'm going to cut that part off for today, man. So many ways I want to get it, but I want to deal with those basic kind of in the top 3 to top 5 with the trust and the truth. Don't tell lies so you don't have mistrust. Lay everything on the table. Be willing to leave your single life behind. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not ready to be married. It's just that simple. Because marriage is nothing about being single and nothing about independence. It's all about teamwork and working together for one common flesh, one common goal in life as partners. So you got to do that. So right quick, I want to turn over and talk about, while we're coming towards the end of the show, is how much money should you spend on a first date? I have told men in the past, and I kind of still stick to this, you should never spend over $50 on a first date with a woman. And let me tell you why. For 2 reasons. She ain't earned the $300 that Mr. D spent on his girlfriends. She hasn't earned that. And ladies, the same, just like you cooking for a man on the first date, he ain't earned that. Men, she has not earned you spending a bunch of money and stuff on her right out the gate. That's number 2. The other reason why you don't do that is you're trying to impress her on a level that you don't even know her. You don't know who she is to spend $200 on no first meal. And some men will do that thinking they showing her how much money you got. Man, are you crazy? What right do she have to know how much money you got on a first date? And if any man or woman asks you how much you make on the first date, excuse yourself to the bathroom, which is out in the parking lot, in your car going home. The most you should spend on honestly on a first date is $50. That's a good number. $50. Get the date done, see how she is, because you might not get to the second date. So you need to do $50. I might talk about that later, even more so on another show. And I know some of y'all flipping like, $50? I'm not going. Well, that's why you don't go on many dates. So $50 is a good amount, whether it's the man or woman. And don't give up stuff or information or part of your giving when the person you with ain't earned that. They not to that level yet. And so that's our word for that for today. Well, I want to thank you, family. We coming down to the end of the show. As always, I want to thank my great partners at McDonald's. I still got my sweet tea right here, man. I'm telling you, this tastes good. It got just a tad bit of lemon in it. I thank the partnership of McDonald's for being a believer and supporter of the Dr. Sam Show. Also, I want you to follow us tightly in social media and all the outlets I have. We got a big announcement coming up. We making some moves. We doing some things on the next level. And to do that, of course, go to the website, www.thedrsamshow.us. Also, follow me on the Facebook, the Dr. Sam Show page. I also have an Ask Dr. Sam page and the Dr. Sam Show group where you can put things in there, have conversation. I put information and all that good stuff. And check me out every week in the Toledo Journal, every Wednesday under the column of Ask Dr. Sam. I have been in that journal for a little over 3 years, giving commentary about your heart, relationship, money, mind, and soul. So check me out and follow us there, and be looking at some things. And like I said, stay tight with us in social media and stuff. I got some announcements, some powerful announcements to make. The Dr. Sam Show, the Millette Media Group, and the Sam Bishop brand is doing great, and we're blessed forward, and some things is really coming out that you're going to enjoy. Well, family, I just want to leave you with this word today. Take the time to invest in yourself, walk in peace, and walk in kindness this week with people that aggravate you. Be kind to them. People that don't seem to be for you, be kind to them, and always love them. And I want to say this. Always remember to tell somebody you love them, because you never know when you may ever see them again. So today I want to tell you I love you. I'll see you next week. This is your friend, Dr. Sam. I'll be checking everybody that made comments on Facebook Live after the show. Hey, take care of yourself. I love you. Peace. See you next week. Boy, that was right on the money. Facebook Live, we done with the show. Hey, man, I love you, everybody that tune in and checking out. I'm going to respond to all the questions. I see them going all down the screen, and I'm going to respond to them once we get off the show. But I appreciate you for tuning in. Check us up next week. And like I said, I got a lot of exciting, great news coming down the line, so stay close to us, follow us, what we're doing. And I want to leave you with this again, Facebook Live family. Remember to always tell somebody you love them, because you never know when you may see them again. Hey, Dr. Sam, I love you. Hey, I'm praying for you. You got purpose. You want it and need it in the world. Be you, do your thing, man, and just accomplish your goals. And again, I love you. Oh, yeah, by the way, Mr. D love you too.